There are many initiatives to collect plastics from nature. I regard all of them as worth. Whether you are getting some friends, you gather some friends and collect the plastics from your area, from a beach that you use, or from the mangroves, wherever you go, or from the city parks, wherever you go with your friends collecting plastics. There is even this initiative in Sweden, no, plugging that you go jogging and collecting plastics on the nature, waste in the nature. These are all very important and worthwhile. The issues that I want to talk to you today is what you do with the collected plastics. Uh, I have seen some of those initiatives. They suggest that you use the plastics for producing tiles, producing new wearables, producing objects that you can have home, and even for constructing home, tiles of plastic bricks, no, bricks of plastics for home. I think those suggestions are very problematic. And the problem is that first, plastics are heavily contaminated. They are contaminated by colors, by softeners, and by substance that they have contained. And especially if you have any hydrophobic substance, it will impregnate inside the plastic mesh, will absorb to the plastics. That is the reason why plastics are so difficult to recycle. You cannot really recycle because they are contaminated, and you cannot wash these contaminants from the plastics because they are in the plastic, and there will be a kind of a slow release of that. So you don't want to have a house or bricks or anything that you can play with, or children will play, that have coming from plastics in the nature, because this can be a source of contamination of toxic substance to your home. The thing is even worse at the seas. Unfortunately, at the seas, we do not have only plastics polluting the oceans. We have a lot of what is called persistent organic uh, pollutants, POPs. No? These are organic substances, mostly from agricultural use, pesticides and fertilizers or medicines, um, insecticides, and that have been used, and through the contaminations of the groundwater, they end up at the seas because of this cycle. These persistent organic pollutants are everywhere in the seas. So the seas is becoming toxic, unfortunately. This is with a certain concentration. Now, the concentration generally is low, but plastics in the ocean, they have a special characteristic. They absorb those pollutants. They are like a sponge collecting those pollutants, and they enrich those substances in itself. So plastics have been found, and there is plenty of data about that. If you want to just search pollutants at the seas, and you're going to see that what I'm saying is pretty much confirmed by many scientific literature. So we have the plastics as kind of a sponge of those contaminants, and you need to regard them as contaminated. So what you do with contaminated plastics that you collect from nature? First, let's say what you should not do. You should really not take those plastics to your home in any way and use in homes, not for tiles or bricks or wearables. You don't want to use any product that has been formed from contaminated plastics, because you will have those contaminants close to your body, and this is where the situation becomes critical. You don't want to do that. Some of those contaminants, we know they are hormonal disruptors, and some are suspected cancer substance. So really, you don't want to have them close to your body. So what you do with them? Well, there are solutions for that. Washing will not clean the contaminated plastic, but you can use a thermal treatment. There are 3 thermal treatments. You can incinerate the plastics. This will destroy the pollutants. And modern incinerator, they have all the systems to clean the incineration air. So none of that will come out to the atmosphere. The only thing that incineration can be used to produce heat, and this heat can be used to produce energy. So there are some good points there. The only negative point is that, of course, incinerate produces CO2. So you will have CO2 emissions unless you have a capture systems that capture the CO2 for storage or usage or later usage. This is also possible. The other 2 process is pyrolysis and gasification. Both of these processes can be done without any emissions, and they will destroy the pollutants. So by those products, you can really come to the recyclability of plastics. That is what I would like to tell to you today. There are solutions, but this cannot be what they call ludic uses of plastic. Let's make some play tools or toys with used plastics. This is really no go. Thank you so much, and think about that.